Stop asking for permission and stop ghosting your own dreams because they matter. You can't build a six-figure business with the same mindset that kept you capped at $45 to $65 an hour. Hello, my name is Natalie. It's such an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me. I really appreciate it. If you don't know me, I've been a nurse for almost 20 years in emergency, critical care, PACU, infusion, hospice, trauma. I made my way around. Turned entrepreneur. We help nurses release survival-driven beliefs around money, confidence, worth, so that they can confidently step into entrepreneurship, attract clients with ease, marketing is ease, and create financial freedom without sacrificing family, health, or end up burnout. You're here because you want more time, more freedom, more income. Am I right? But the truth is most nurses never get there. And not because they don't work hard, because I will scream it from the rooftops. Nurses are some of the most hardworking people I've ever met. And they make great entrepreneurs. But the reason why they never get there is because no one ever taught them how to think like an entrepreneur. And that changes today. The real problem is that you're still thinking like an employee in this little bitty box in an entrepreneur's world. What you need is a new identity, because if you don't shift who you are in this business, no amount of checklists or marketing scripts are going to save you. They really broke us down to program us to fit us in this space that worked in the units, that worked in this hierarchy of the corporation, so that we didn't have this independent mind. We would fall into line essentially. And culturally, we were programmed to take orders, to ask for permission, to work harder to prove our worth, right? Well, sure, you can get a raise. Let's look at your performance and put everyone else's needs before our own. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares at the job if you've had a rough night or not. All they know is that they need a spot to fill and they need someone on the unit, and they're going to call and they're going to beg you to come in on your day off, right? So of course, when you start a business, you carry all of that. You don't even know that you're doing it because it's our programming that sits below in the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind drives 96% of everything that we do. So we have the logical thinking brain, which is online. That's what's actively listening to me right now. That's what we operate out of. But all of our patterns and behaviors is driven from that subconscious mind. The sky's parting and the sun coming out, and all of a sudden it's like you just know it's time. It's a choice. There's no such thing as the right time. The right time is now. The right time really was probably yesterday, but the right time is now. But what's really running the show here? It's that mindset that we've carried from bedside. And this is how it's sneaking into every area of your life right now. So mentally and emotionally, you're stuck in overthinking mode. You spend hours researching instead of acting. You scroll and go down a rabbit trail instead of sending an email or replying to a DM or following up, right? And you tell yourself, I'll just decide later, because maybe you need to ask your husband or your wife or the friend who's doing really well to get more opinions to help you navigate your decisions. Is that true? Sound familiar? Here's what that feels like. It feels like racing thoughts at night. It's that dread every single time you have to make a decision. Oh, your stomach gets queasy. It's a tight chest when it's time to invest or put yourself out there. It's actually pretty miserable. But I'm here to tell you that doing nothing is also doing something. It is an intentional choice. Be careful the story that you tell yourself, because it will become your reality. And it's not a sign that you're not built for this. It's just showing you that you're still operating out of outdated programming and an employee mindset. And it's just time to make a shift. And how is it showing up in your business? It shows up as undercharging, hoping someone will just give you a chance. Please give me a chance. It shows up as you ghosting network opportunities, procrastinating on follow-ups, and waiting for that step-by-step checklist. Just tell me what to do and I'll check it off, and then I'll be successful. Doesn't work that way. And the feelings, the insecurity. Whenever you quote a price, it's like your throat closes up. And the shame that you feel when you see other nurses winning and succeeding and getting clients while you feel totally stuck. And the frustration every time another week goes by without progress. How we do one thing is how we do everything. So it truly encompasses all areas of our life. So maybe in your relationships, you downplay your dreams. because you don't want to be judged and you're living this double life. It gets kind of confusing. All of these that we just spoke about are not about strategy. They're not about money. They're not about time. This is about identity. You left the bedside. You're still showing up as an employee in every area of your life. And until you reset it, you'll keep building from exhaustion instead of power. You'll keep building from burnout instead of flow in your natural gifts, from fear instead of authority. And so let's look at the difference between an employee mindset and an entrepreneur mindset. So the employee mindset waits for permission, while the entrepreneur decides with authority. The employee trades hours for dollars, and the entrepreneur charges for value. Very different. The employee fears failure, and the entrepreneur sees failure just as a setback, right? Do you see the difference? This is procrastination disguised as planning. It feels like being frozen, stuck, doubtful, resentful of others moving faster. You compare yourself with everyone. And so the frame here is I build confidence by taking aligned action, and failure equals feedback. It is not my identity. You know, the definition of action is power. Sometimes we wait, we feel confident enough to take action, but that's actually backwards. You have to take the action, and that lived body experience then creates the confidence. So what happens if you don't reset? Maybe you're listening to me and you're like, well, that all sounds woo-woo and that sounds great, Natalie, but I think I've got this. I don't need this mindset stuff. And that's okay if you feel that way. I will tell you, it always comes back to it though. 80% of success is in here, because if we believe and we know that we are meant to be here, we are meant to do this, and you know it in your bones that you have a calling, you know it in your bones that you're meant to do more. Once we get this aligned, everything flows. If we don't make this shift, then here's the truth of what happens. You'll stay stuck at the bedside until you burn out or break down. And let's be honest, physically, mentally, emotionally, it takes its toll on you. You're going to keep missing those milestones with your kids. I know how important that is. You'll keep making lists instead of money. And the worst part, you'll look back and you realize that you wasted another year asking for permission instead of taking your shot. Take your shot. I'm telling you, there's not a perfect time. So the reset starts here. It's going to change everything. It's built through action. And if you're feeling that imposter syndrome, the best thing you can do is feel the fear, acknowledge it, then feel the excitement and do it anyways. Because on the other side of that action is your power, your confidence, and some incredible results waiting on you. Your family thinks you're nuts for starting this business. They just don't understand the concept. They're like, why don't you just put all your money in a 401k and retire one day? Remember, that's programming, right? When you're around like-minded people and you are in the presence of someone who is on the other side, your chances increase astronomically. You collapse so much time. Community is everything. Mentorship is everything. We can't see the label on the outside of the bottle that we are in. We need other people to help us to see that and work through it. Ask me how I know. I think I spent $150,000 in mentors and mentorship and investment into the company until this finally clicked. And I did all the strategies. I did everything that they said. Everyone else was getting results. And I was this close to saying maybe this just wasn't meant for me. And I'll tell you, that's when I decided to make a choice. And I stood firm in that choice. And I told myself that day, said, the only way I fail is if I give up. That's it. And so I promised myself that I would honor that. And soon after, I did make the shift and I made $80,000 in 4 months and opened up so many doors of abundance and stepped into the authority and the power that comes when you actually own your identity as a business owner. When you step into that identity, that entrepreneur identity, that boss, that CEO, that authority, money flows differently. Time bends differently. You start showing up in your gifts, your natural gifts, and everything becomes so much easier. Your family starts to see you differently. That's why it's so important that we step into this identity and own it. Because here's the truth. You didn't leave bedside to keep missing family milestones. You didn't leave the bedside to trade dollars for hours or second guess every single decision or stay in the fetal position in the corner of the room crying, which, by the way, say you're not a real entrepreneur unless you've actually done that. If you're planning on leaving bedside or you have left bedside, you didn't plan to leave all of that to just recreate it, right? I will tell you this though, if you do this alone, you'll stay stuck in that research mode. You'll stay stuck in that fear. You'll stay stuck in that, well, what if? Well, give me a couple of years and let me make some cushion. Well, give me a couple of years and let me do this. Well, let me just wait till the kids graduate. Well, let me just wait until, guess what? It keeps getting longer and longer and longer. There's so much freedom on this side. It's a whole different life, a whole different world. And I see so many nurses that allow that voice in their head to really get loud, and it sends them right back into their toxic burnout comfort zone. Connection is everything on this journey. Connection and our ability to step into this identity and shift from the employee to the entrepreneur. I love this. Unemployed people think in days. Employees think in weeks. Self-employed think in months. Entrepreneurs think in quarters. Millionaires think in years. Billionaires think in decades. Building wealth starts with your mind. All you have to do is look farther and stay consistent over time. The consistency is everything. And I know this is going to sound a little nutty, but just if you don't receive this now, I guarantee you, you will at some point later. I hope that you put this in your memory bank. Even though your current circumstances may say everything otherwise than you're a successful business owner, all of your dreams can come true. You have an abundance of wealth, whatever definition of wealth means to you. We can't judge our future by our current circumstances. We have to look farther. As an entrepreneur, the one thing I will tell you is that there's so many things happening that we can't see. We just have to know that it's there and that it's coming. The community is everything when it comes to that, to give us that support. So don't keep letting fear or time rob you of the freedom that you came here for. Step into your purpose, step into your calling, get in the room where nurses are building businesses, landing cases, and creating the life that they once thought was impossible. Because when we put ourselves and surround ourselves with those people, it's natural that we will up level and meet them, and we all up level together. So here's your invitation. Join the NLNCN today. This is the network that you need. This is the connection that you need. The Nurse to CEO Reset Blueprint. It is an outline and a blueprint that you can fall back on at any point in time. Download your blueprint and remember that we can do anything as long as we overcome our programming and what is in here. The brain is going to brain and it's going to operate to keep us safe. We have an ability to rewrite over that. And the biggest way that comes is lived body experience. So if you are waiting, I encourage you to take action now, because that's where the power is. And your confidence is waiting on the other side.
Want full access to expert-led trainings, networking opportunities, and resources you won't find anywhere else? The NLNCN is the only national network built for nurses by nurses. Join today and get up to 2 months free. Click the link below to start exploring.